All right, good morning, peoples. Let's jump into Coney and Coin. What do we have? Well, big down day for those two. 5.53. Coin was down from 245.06, excuse me, to 231.52. So we were down from 1980 to 1878, so 5.15. So we did better. Obviously, we're not capped. Now, let me share with you something that I think the fund managers made a mistake. Let's see if it hurts us or not. But it didn't make a lot of sense. I don't think it will with you either when I show it to you, but maybe we'll skate by. So here were the trades for Coney. They put transactions on coin, right? The underlying, but it's within the Coney YIELDMAX fund. So they bought to close, no synthetics. They had shares, more shares bought, 325,000. So they collected good money again. And I have no problem with them putting on the synthetic with that. They could have, but they chose to close out, which I thought was great at 7 cents at 275. Now, they went down to 231, right? They got 7 cents for them. So they sold a 270 out the following weekend, got good money, same 1500, you know, and so they got $4.26. Not bad. Here's the exposure. Okay, so I labeled it right here. And before, if you go back and you happen to look at an old video, I had 30,000 here as a one-line entry that they sold as 4.25. But from an accounting standpoint, when you only want to show a portion of it sold, since they both sold at the same price, I just split it in two to 215s, right? And then that way I can show one being bought back. So they make great money, right? On the 6375 that they captured, whoops, I didn't pull this down. Very small amount, right? So 105,000 it cost them to buy that back. Not a biggie, not complaining about that. What I'm going to show you is that they left 15 there. And what did I tell you in Misty? We're up big, okay, in BTC. So right now we're trading 2,555 points higher than we closed, okay, because Bitcoin is 24 hours, right? So we're up almost 4%, 3.95. And why are we up? Well, we're getting closer to a certain politician named Trump that will be speaking at the Bitcoin conference, from what I'm told on Saturday. I've been hearing this all week. It was more toward the weekend, Friday or Saturday, and I asked my subscribers, and somebody replied back, he's scheduled on Saturday. So, what's the purpose of that talk? Again, if you listen to Misty, you know. The purpose is to talk about hardening the dollar values, our treasuries, right? The US is having a problem with people buying the treasuries. So we're eating our own dog food. We're consuming, okay, the treasuries within ourselves. China stopped buying them, right? They've cashed out of about 70% of all the treasuries they had. So the BRICS are trying to form their own CBDC with Saudi Arabia and Brazil and China and Russia and others. I mean, this has been going on for a year or two, but it seems to be getting traction. So I think Trump, and I think you'll see it from both sides of the House, regardless whether you're Democrat or Republican, getting on the bandwagon of a Bitcoin CBDC or something. Bitcoin's a lot better than CBDC because they're government issued, and then they can kind of control things. And when you're talking pure Bitcoin, nobody is really the holder or owner of that. But if you back it by hardened assets, which is what the BRICS and this Enbridge, go out and Google Enbridge and you'll see what I'm talking about. Um, And it can be a formidable situation because if you look at fiat currency, if you look at paper money, why is it value, right? Is there really any value in that $100 bill? Well, of course there's a $100 bill. I can go buy anything. Well, that's what you call backed by the faith of government. It used to be, prior to Nixon closing the gold window, backed by something. So this whole, idea of having a strategic hardened assets backing the paper currency can extend this. We've enjoyed something in the US called the reserve currency. And we've had a lot of ability to print money and do all kinds of things, become the top economic, military, all of these things. Well, that's slowly eroding. I'm not telling 99% of the population anything, but nothing happens immediate. It's a slow grind. Look at every civilization in history. They decay from within. It's not even a political issue. It's just a fact that happens to, and we're pretty long in the tooth in that. I'm pro-American, all of those kinds of things. I'm just saying, we have issues. The debt load is appearing in a much greater way. All right, let me get in. So when Trump is scheduled to speak, the strong rumors are that wanting votes, wanting to appeal to people, somebody made the statement that more households hold some level of crypto, Bitcoin, than do dogs. I don't know if it's true, but it seems like a lot of households. So if I'm a politician and I'm running and I want votes and I like something a little bit, I'm going to embellish it. I'm going to tell you that that looks pretty good. I'm in favor of that, right? That's why I said I think eventually both sides, once somebody gets an appeal on that, it's easy for the other side to say, yeah, me too. I want in on that. So what's happening, we're getting closer to that kind of a speech. So all of a sudden, after the market close, Bitcoin is surging. So what happens to coin and Coney? Well, they took half these off the table. So we'll just have to see. And with Misty, it was a 1675 where we closed at 1606. It's looking like we're going to open at that 1675. So they bought something back at like $7 because the IV is so much higher. Here we are at 231 with a 275. And, we only paid 7 cents. Why didn't we just take the rest of it off the table? Right? So let's see if it opens that. They may have a chance, but they may have to have a few dollars. They may have to pay a dollar or two. I'd sure hate to see that, right? We were able to capture almost 6.3 out of 6.3 million, right? We collected 6,270,000 out of 6,375,000. So if we miss this opportunity, you don't not take something off the table at 7 cents when you can. Now, I'm not saying it's going to be past 275, but I guarantee you those market makers aren't going to want to give you much room. They're going to pay a lot more than 7 cents, even if they're able to take it off. I'm okay with that. I'm not okay if they have to pay a dollar or two. It's just silliness, right? So why expose yourself to that? And this is probably going to get run over. But again, this could be a subtle thing. This could be a buy the rumor, sell the news. On Friday it moves way up. Trump speaks, says something. Everybody says, well, yeah, he's kind of indicating it, but Congress has to approve it. He hasn't even been elected. He's just a candidate, even though it looks like he's ahead in the polls. All of that. So I can't say absolutely, but it feels like this is the beginning of the run. It really does. Um, we just needed to stay above 63, and we kind of went down into that area a little bit, and here we are at 67. I know it's the Bitcoin conference, but let's see. So that's what I'm telling you, peoples. That's what's happening. We can go look at all the other. It looks horrible with our loss because of 231. Now, part of the problems, the markets aren't necessarily reflecting the actual. I can go to a chart and I can look at coins right now. But again, this is, it's only showing around 242. So if it only opens up at 250 or something, they need to take that off the table because it could easily, run up to that 275. And if they take it off and it's 4 or 5 cents, hey, more power to them. But I really want to see that taken off. I don't want the risk. And who knows what it'll actually be when the market opens. Again, maybe I'm making a big deal out of nothing. We shall see. Okay. But you're never wrong to take something for 7 cents off the table that you got 4 1/4. 7 cents is 100 grand. 100 grand isn't going to do something on a share count of 38 million, right? It's meaningless, really. It's not a penny. It's not even a fraction of a penny. Okay, so now our synthetic, let me pull that, now has like a 48 million. I think that's the number. Let me go back over here in holdings. 52.6 million, right? Because we came down. So that part, we want to go back up. This is all positive on our synthetic. And look at where this closed. It closed at 3 cents at the end of the day. It's not a problem buying it back at 7. They play games with bid and ask on these guys because in the flex marketplace, it's kind of a custom order. You have to call. It's not just super high volume on bid and ask and all computerized. Because again, they're dealing in the flex marketplace for institutional investors, and they have to do it a certain way. And why are they there? They're there because they select a European option. They can get custom strikes that may not even exist for other option players in the regular retail market, and they always have to close out electronically. They can't let it expire like you or I if we have a trade on and we're not in the money, so we can just let it expire worthless. But we also can be assigned stock. They don't want to be assigned stock because they can't own the stock, right? By definition, they can't have more than 10% of their capital in a single stock, so they don't own any stock. They just do synthetic options to simulate. So it's a kind of a complicated process. So let's finish talking. I know I'm long in the tooth on that, but I like you guys to understand what I'm talking about. So here's our 52 million. Again, if we run back up to well, remember 50 is the tipping point. These are a 250. We got it to 816. So all of a sudden we run 230 to 250. This thing is, well, it's still got some time value, but it's way, way down, right? So we can knock this 52 million out. I just don't want to run by the 275 or this 270. That's a little scary because I don't know how much momentum through this weekend into next week we have in Bitcoin. Again, let's see. I trying to predict Bitcoin price on a day or two. I can give you probabilities on a chart based on the levels it's trading at, but nobody can really accurately know the exact price. Okay, guys, so here it is on the chart, right? We've gone from a 49 million gain to a 26 million dollar gain to an 11 million dollar loss to a 52 million. So, it's movement down. We were well up in the 50s before the 250s. All right, so how does that play out in payments? Well, it plays out in a lot of ways, right? Because we now don't have a gain, right? We have a minus 52. So where's our money coming from? Well, we lowered this. This was 48 million down to 41 million, but all that did was take, 10 million on 40 million. That's only like 25 cents. So we lowered this a little bit over here in our total income, but it's still a negative. So the money's got to come. We should all hope that we go flying up to 270, which would be a 35 thing, and we would gain money here instead of this loss. So anyway, that's what I wanted to describe to you guys, and hopefully they take it off early, even if it costs them 10, 12 cents or something, because it's looking like it's 240s or 250s. So that's what I got for you on coin. I don't think, I ran through some of this stuff. What did we close at? We closed at 1878. What's fair value? 1871. I showed you the synthetic. So again, the good news here, unless this thing runs by, we should be able, we closed at 3 cents, but we're going to be up, right? That was 231. We're showing 242 right now. So this thing could open at 250, 260. But if they take it off the table, at least they win. I'd rather have them right at this new higher price. And if you take it off the table, wait till the end of the day, because if we get a surge in Bitcoin, you're going to want to go out further and you'll get more money out of it. So, you can see that they have a 99.28. I'm glad they took off half. I honestly think it would have had no issue with them taking off 100%. Okay, guys, I think that's it. I don't have anything else magic to tell you. So I want, coin to pay us. So we need to get some cash here. So let's hope this is the beginning of a good run in Bitcoin. Okay, guys, not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. Have a good one. See ya.